What you're looking at right now are finalists for my Desmos 3D challenge. I got over 400 submissions from 250 individual people for this contest, and I'm really appreciative of everyone who submitted. There were so many good ones. You all are so talented. Unfortunately, I was not able to secure prizes in time for this challenge, but more on that at the end of the video, where I'll also be announcing the next challenge. The upside of not having prizes is that I don't have to be stressed about picking which one is going to get a prize, and I can just say there's no winners. So, there are no winners in this video. Every graph included is considered a finalist. Even though there's no winners, I'd love it if you would comment which ones are your favorites and upvote each other's comments, because I'm very curious about which ones you love too. It's especially good that I don't have to pick a winner for this category, which is the color mapping category, since I really couldn't decide. Every graph in this category uses coordinate-based color mapping, which is special to the 3D grapher, and I made a tutorial about it if you're curious on how it works. This category is called Realism because they all simulate something in our physical world. Someone alert the physicists because Amy just solved the three-body problem in Desmos. I mean, look at it. It looks solved, so it must be. All the gravity looks right to me. There were a lot of planets and stars in the submissions, but these two stood out to me. And I really love this wave. There were a lot of waves in the submissions. And landscapes in general, where you could randomize the landscape. This one was the one I picked because I thought it looked pretty, and because it didn't have any lag when rotating the graph and randomizing it. And I just love this very sine wavy caterpillar, which looks exactly like the book. And this TV, as well as this book, which turns pages, really looked realistic to me. We've got a few bananas, this one which ripens and unripens. For this banana, I loved it so much that this is what I wrote in my notes. And here's one called Epically Perfect Bomb Model. Very cool. Heather made a zoetrope, which is an animation device that was invented in 1886 before the invention of film. Then we have Bad Apple, which is an animation that people have been making on a ton of different media over the years. Even lasers, Game Boys, 3D printers, and actual apples. And so having it in the 3D grapher just makes sense to me. Would you ever think that art made in a graphing calculator could have a surrealistic style? Any style at all, really? If you answered no, then you clearly haven't heard of Jake Walker. For those not versed in art history, Surrealism is an art movement with lots of dreamlike images. For this category, some of the art was dreamlike, and some was nightmarish. Jake makes amazing YouTube videos about his Desmos art, which you should definitely check out. When I saw his work, I messaged him on Discord asking him what he was thinking, and here's what he said. You might be asking, how did Jake get the box outside the graph to go away? It turns out there are some Desmos links you can use for different effects, and in this case, you can go to desmos.com/3d/hidethebox and make your graph from there. I'm thinking of making a video of all my favorite Desmos links like that, so leave a comment if you want me to actually make that. I also wanted to include some work not by Jake that fits this dreamlike, nightmarish quality. We have a very long nose which can go on forever, Pinocchio style, as well as an eye which also can go on forever. Very creepy. It took me an embarrassingly long time to beat the AI bot in this game made in Desmos 3D. Do you think you can beat it in fewer attempts? Acrorex made a Gomoku game, which is like tic-tac-toe, but you win with 5 in a row. It took me around 5 games to beat it, and I didn't even try the other versions of the AI opponent, but I'm sure I'd lose a lot there too. And do you think you can beat my score for Jake Walker's game? I love how the score counter looks here. I also like this fidget toy which you can press, but I think I'd rather have it in real life. And this voxel editor was really fun to use, and I bet you can make some cool stuff with it. This category is for the math nerds, which I'm pretty sure most of you watching this far into the video are. In this category, the finalists made mathematical concepts beautiful, like these topological manifolds, surfaces, and knots by Chessman960, and these Platonic solids by Brandon Roller. This one was a way to map complex functions onto a sphere using color, something called stereographic projection. And then there's this cool graph by Jasperwalkie1010, where they show this pixelated effect in Desmos 3D with different 3D surfaces. And I love this dodecahedron that undoes and redoes itself. You can find all the graphs mentioned in this video organized by category in the description, in case you'd like to explore how they were made. Since there were so many amazing submissions for this one, I plan on releasing a montage of the shortlisted graphs, ones that didn't make the final cut either because they didn't fit into the categories I ended up going with, were too laggy, or I chose not to include them to keep the video a reasonable length. But I still think they're worth looking at because they're really cool. Right now, this folder has 83 graphs in it, which is quite a lot, so I might narrow it down a little bit to keep the video somewhat reasonable in terms of length. You can look out for this in a few days, and I'd be really curious if there are any in there that you think should have been finalists. Now, about prizes. I reached out to 4 or 5 companies that I think make products or services that this audience would really like as prizes for the Desmos challenges. One company actually got back to me and might be interested, but they just got back to me while I was editing this video, so maybe for the next video we'll have a prize. But again, no guarantees. Also, someone in the comments suggested that I start a Discord, so I've gone and done that. There we can discuss current and future challenges and generally build community among people who really enjoy math art. Okay, time to announce the next challenge. This is going to be, what is the coolest thing that you can make with the tone function in Desmos? In other words, what music or sound can you make with the tone function? I really loved the finalist of my 20 character challenge that used music or sound. And I have been experimenting with it myself. Submissions will be due 2 weeks from when this video gets posted, and you can find the Google form to submit in the description. I can't wait to listen to what you come up with. I'll be making my own music and sounds in Desmos during this time, and I might even live stream my process, where you could interact and ask questions. Or I might make a tutorial if I think of a good idea that hasn't been done. Please let me know if you'd like to see either of those happen. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe so you don't miss the next one.